You're calling this the year of living divergently. What do you mean?
Well, we think there are going to be just a lot of divergences which can be very confusing. In particular, for example, we think the U.S. economy is going this way and the European economy is going this way. That's not normal. So that's a divergence. Will that translate to markets, I think, is the big question.
But it's interesting. Your outlook on Europe is more optimistic than many I've heard. And it's that Europe will gradually get better. The crisis will ease.
Yes. Meaning fears about the euro falling apart will slowly dissipate. Now, that doesn't mean that the minority scenario of something worse can't happen. But our mainline view is that we can continue to muddle through. The authorities, I think we can argue, did not do a thing until October. And since October, they're trying. They don't know the answer any more than you or I do. Europe needs to be unified. Europe needs austerity. And Europe needs growth. And I think doing all three of those things at the same time is very difficult. But I think we muddle through.
In terms of corporate earnings here in the United States, you expect to see a rise year over year, but you don't expect that they will exceed expectations. Why is that?
We've come a long way. Earnings are up in 2010 versus 9, 40%. Last year, 14.
Despite the crisis. Is this sort of a delayed effect?
No, I don't think so. I think it's corporate America bucking the trend to some degree. We've got consumers paying down debt. Corporations already did that, and the government needs to do it. The corporate sector was way ahead of the rest of the economy, and I think they're bearing the fruit of that through having decent earnings.
You're expecting a Republican in the White House next by a small margin. Who's the person we're going to talk about most in 2012?
I think most of the talk will be about President Obama. Whoever the Republican nominee is, and it's most likely Mitt Romney, will spend as much time as he can talking about President Obama and what happened in the last 4 years. And he will try to make the case that here were the promises made, here was the deterioration in our economy, it's time for a change. That's the case he'll try to make. So I think he'll try to focus everything on Obama.
Social unrest, from Occupy Wall Street to the Arab Spring, you have said that this is in its infancy.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think in a world that has slow growth, where real incomes are not moving up like they used to, and where we have a lot of political leaders, including in this country, spending as much time talking about redividing the pie as opposed to growing the pie, we're unfortunately going to, I think, have more social and political unrest.
Does that have a significant, a material impact on the equity market?
Look, I don't think it's a positive in any way, shape, or form, but what it does do is create more uncertainty and hopefully forces the dialogue back to how are we going to grow?